What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Frank Warren. The co-promoter of Tyson the Gypsy King Fury said this about the trilogy fight between his fighter, Tyson Fury, and Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder. He said this: out of all my years of working and promoting fights, this is by far the best fight I've ever seen. Let me counterpunch. I think Frank, he's been around for a long time. And, Frank is one of those guys, old fish eyes, bars. He's one of those guys that he's not easily moved. If you notice, he's just kind of like this kind of docile, monotone guy. You know what I mean? He's just mostly like nothing really. He's just that way. He's not like this overexcited guy. He's just kind of like monotone, So for him to see that, and you've seen Frank is always at like highest of a 5 out of 10. And he ain't going past 5, right? So, but I have to agree with Frank Warren. This was a very good fight. If you watch it, you understand like, this is a good fight because it wasn't a beatdown. It was a lot of intriguement. Both fighters made it what it was because Wilder has a reputation of, hey, you can never count him out. He always has that right hand. If he hits you with it, you will find out and you will understand why, okay? And Tyson Fury was on his game plan and he was doing a lot of mauling. So it was very much like 1 and 2 rolled into 1 and it made 3. So 1 plus 2 is 3. And that's exactly what we got. So imagine Frank seeing that and watching this fighter, you know what I mean? Because really in the 4th round, I'm going to do a separate video on the 4th round itself, by itself. But, when he went down the second time, it was like, okay, you either thought 2 things. Like 1, shit, Tyson Fury's about to get knocked out. Or 2, Tyson Fury's tired and he's about to get knocked out. Then you start questioning a lot of shit about Tyson. Like, damn, how in shape is Tyson? Because you can't really tell by looking at him. You know what I mean? Like he says, I work out every day for my mental illness. But you ain't going to tell because you ain't going to say like, man, you look a little defined. Like probably like earlier this year, he looked a little skinny Benny. You know what I mean? You kind of seen some abs kind of showing up when he worked out real hard. He's doing this here and he's seen a couple little abs and stuff. You're like, hey, that's it. You know what I mean? But other than that, though, he's mostly flabby. He got the love handles and he got, so he has those things. And it's like, how do you know if he's in shape or not? Because, he's very deceiving because his body is not going to shape and form and tell you any type of story. You know what I mean? He looks like a guy that just walked out of a pub at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, right? So you won't tell that. So the 4th round, it was like, hey man, dude, he may be gone, right? And then you heard the bell ring, and that then the bell ring, and of course it was the 5th round that it was a totally different story from the round before. So the fight was spectacular. So to hear Frank Warren say that, I just have to agree with Frank. And all the times me and Frank don't agree at all. But anyway, I'm just counterpunching Frank's feelings and thoughts about the fight. You guys tell me what you think about Frank Warren saying that this is the best fight he's ever seen. And let's look at it. Let's come back a bit. What fight in the last 20 years? This is 2021. So from 2000, maybe some War Gotti, because that's classic stuff. God bless Terrell Gotti. But you know what I mean? And they did fight 3 times. And then every one of those fights were just back and forth. So, okay, besides that. What other fights, really? You know what I mean? There's not too many that just been that good, especially at this level. Most fights are at this level, they're boring. Think about it. Mayweather, Pacquiao, Fury, Vlad, right? Klitschko, Fury, Klitschko, that was boring. Now, Joshua Klitschko was very good. Because you had multiple knockdowns. You had a balance of what was going on. It wasn't just one way and somebody just beating somebody to a pulp. It wasn't that way. This was had intriguement, it had incitement, it had like it gave you chills watching it, because it's like, yo, what is going to happen and what are we looking at? But anyway, again, you guys tell me what you think of Frank Warren's thoughts on the fight. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.